Mike,
Yeah?
it's time to get ready for Portland.
Oh, yeah, I will, honey. I just want to beat this guy.
Okay. Mike,
Yeah?
come on, we have to get ready for Portland.
I know, but I'm still in the middle of this fight. I mean, he's really tough right now. He's kicking my butt.
Fine. Mike,
Yeah?
it's time to go to Portland. Come on.
I'm almost there, honey. I swear I'm almost there.
Oh.
Wait, where are we?
We're in the airport going to Portland.
Oh, well, you didn't have to knock me out. You could just ask me to come here.
It's me, not Mike. We just got off the plane from Newark. We are in Portland right now. We are going to the Holy Donut just to get a quick bite to eat, and we are very excited to be here. The leaves are already starting to change. It's beautiful. Anything you have to say, Mike?
Yeah, I'm super excited about the trip. As you mentioned, we're going to the Holy Donut. I'm still recovering from my head injury from you abducting me and taking me to Portland. But I am super excited for this. It's a nice sized city for me. It's small, it's not super crowded, not very busy. Food is really good, especially if you like seafood. And I'm just looking forward to going back. It's been like 3 years, I think, since we were back here. So really looking forward to that, and actually just seeing the ocean too, getting some nice good food. So we're walking down Exchange Street right now. We decided to abandon the Holy Donut because it wasn't in the downtown area, which is where we thought it was. So it was actually a new place. So we're checking out this area now. Being that it was a Monday, it wasn't very busy and not much was open. So we didn't walk around for too long, but we did decide to grab a quick cup of coffee at the Crooked Mile, and then hit the road to a familiar place in the town of Saco, which is a small town just south of Portland. Here we go. Andrew's on her phone, typing away. With the mask on already.
It's already on, baby.
Yeah, I remember this. I remember this. I remember taking a picture of that, I don't know, chimney thing, whatever it is.
Yeah, the food here is really good.
The food here is really good.
Highly recommend that you come here. It's a big restaurant.
Yeah, I got the beer mac and cheese the last time I was here.
Yeah, I ate part of it.
And she ate part of it.
I was not vegan at the time.
Good point, good point.
Basically, I think probably everything was just phenomenal.
Yeah, we had a great time here. The inside was really nice, really open. Just the atmosphere was great too. So
great. How is it?
That's good. It's worth it to come here just for that. We hit the road again and made our way to Kennebunkport, which was just a short drive further south. But after checking into the bed and breakfast, we were up for a bit of a surprise. Alright guys, so little hiccup on day one. The keys don't work. I did find it pretty interesting when we got to the door here and the door was open. Didn't make much sense to me. Now I know why they couldn't lock it. So I can get the key in on one of them, but it doesn't turn. The other one doesn't work at all, and then the deadbolt also doesn't work for either of the keys. So sitting here waiting for maintenance to get here. Andrea went down to take a look at the ocean and enjoy the view because we were getting a little frustrated, so naturally. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Keep you guys posted. Here's an update on the room situation. There's Andrea right there. She's back from her walk on the ocean. So we actually got upgraded to a suite because, well, the general manager, Carl, was super nice. He was very apologetic and he helped us out a lot. He said you could, just go to this room, which was right next door, or the room above us, which happened to be a suite. So we decided to take that because it just makes more sense, right? It comes with this really sweet ocean view, which I'll show you. Yeah, it's a suite and it's a sweet ocean view right there. So we got that to look forward to all the time, which is really nice. And no additional charge. So Andrew's happy, I'm happy. And now
going to dinner.
Now we gotta go find food because we're pretty hungry. So. Alright guys, we just left Pedro's in Kennebunkport, and we are on our way to just walk around the town for a little bit, and then from there probably head back to the hotel, bed and breakfast. And at that point I think we are going to, I don't know, just relax for the rest of the night. Hope you guys can hear that. We continued on to downtown Kennebunkport and crossed the Kennebunk River over the newly constructed Mathew J. Lanigan Bridge as of 2017. This connects the town of Kennebunk to Kennebunkport on the other side of the river and is a highly trafficked pedestrian and automobile route. So we just got out of the
Copper Candle.
Yeah, I don't know why I can never remember the name of it. I was going to say the Candle Copper, which doesn't make any sense. But we found out that is one of the original buildings here from 1775.
The oldest commercial building in Kennebunkport.
Yeah.
Apparently it used to be a warehouse where
Yeah.
they would deliver all of the goods shipped from different parts of the coast.
Yeah.
And the floors are pine, but they're
Yeah.
not original. Apparently
Yeah.
they sold the floors to
a firm,
loft
in Boston.
$9,000.
Which is kind of crazy when you think about it, that they sold their old hardwood floors, which were beaten up, apparently really worn down. They said like people were walking on them and the floors were shifting so bad, but I guess these guys really wanted to get the barn style in their loft, and they did. So hey, pretty cool.
A lot of cute shops here in Kennebunkport. A lot of nice restaurants, like Allison's is great. The Clam Shack. We just went to Pedro's, which is like a Mexican themed.
Yeah.
There's a Ben and Jerry's. So many great places to visit.
Yeah,
I think we're going to Pier 77, which is like a local hotspot. And then of course HB Provisions is like the local breakfast place.
And we'll check out all that stuff tomorrow and get more when there's actually daylight out and we have more visual appeal for
And
it.
we're going to Mornings in Paris, which is like the best French cafe ever.
Yeah, that's our favorite.
Even probably in France, and I've been to France several times.
Mornings in Paris is amazing. Honey nut lattes.
Honey nut latte.
For the win. Here we are. You excited?
I'm really excited.
This was one of the highlights of our previous trip, and we were so glad to be back. All the coffees roasted on site, the pastries all look delectable, and since it's the place that opens up the earliest in Kennebunkport, it's a great spot for you to start your day. We just got done with Mornings in Paris. Coffee.
Great coffee. We got the honey nut latte, which we absolutely love.
That's our favorite.
Have soy options if you are vegetarian or vegan.
Yep.
It's vegan in this case. I'm actually vegetarian / vegan, so I can definitely tell you if that applies to you, that there are certainly a lot of options here. You'll just have to ask.
Yeah, and then to top it all off, I mean, the food was just, the croissant was pretty good. It was a little burnt, but it wasn't that bad.
It's always busy there. They open at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
I highly recommend that you get there early, and they do not take cash, so make sure you have your credit card on file.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Good point. Point that out. So we're just on our way down to HB Provisions. Gonna check this out. Originally called Me Serves Market, it was sold to owners Helen and Bonnie in 2002, who redesigned the interior, then renamed it to HB Provisions. HB. Get it? Their goal was to create an old-fashioned general store. Currently, it's operated solely by Bonnie, but the two remain life partners to this day.
They also serve breakfast, lunch. They're open pretty late until maybe about 8 o'clock at night. And they have really good coffee here too.
So we just left HP Provisions. Didn't buy anything because we actually don't need anything right now. But another good tip though is they actually have some pretty cheap breakfast options in there and some sandwiches and wraps and things like that. So probably like under 10 bucks for breakfast, which is good for this area, I want to say.
Yeah,
that's probably inexpensive.
It's a local favorite. George Bush Sr. would come here all the time.
Yep.
It's definitely well known in this area, to the point where even like maybe 10, 15 minutes away, we saw signs pointing us in this direction.
Yeah, it was like 6-7 miles outside town. They're like, here, come to HP Provisions. So, and that's what we did. Hey, at least it was a thumb. The town just got a lot busier. A couple buses let out. You can see it behind me. We ducked the crowd and managed to find a nice quiet spot in the parking lot just behind the Hurricane restaurant. It also happened to give us a pretty sweet view of the Kennebunk River at low tide. So if you're looking for some jewelry in Kennebunkport, that sea glass place was actually pretty good.
It's right near Allison's. Really cute jewelry, not too expensive, some of it.
Yeah, simple style too. I like it, she likes it, and that's all that matters. We took another lap around downtown Kennebunkport before we decided to head back to the car and enjoy a drive to the nearby town of Algonquin. Unfortunately for us though, it was so busy, there's no free parking spots, and even after several passes through the town, I still came up empty. At this point, needing some actual food besides the pastries we had in the morning, we decided to grab a quick bite on the outside of downtown Algonquin and figure out our next step from there. The Algonquin House of Pizza.
We're driving right now to Portsmouth, New Hampshire. We've never been here before, and we're very excited. It's only about 30 minutes south from Algonquin, which is where we had lunch at a pizza place.
Which was really good.
Yeah, really, really good.
Greek-style pizza.
Greek-style pizza. And Portsmouth is supposed to be known for a lot of its American history. Hopefully we can share some of that with you.
Yeah, we'll find out when we get there. I hear the Strawberry Bank Museum, I think that's what it's called. That's supposed to be great, so we're going to try to check that out. It's pretty close to the downtown, which is where we're headed right now. Hopefully we get some free parking too while we're there. So.
Definitely. Also, the weather has been kind of capricious. It was colder this morning, kind of rainy, and now it's sunny.
Yep.
And it's the end of September. If you're visiting up in the New England area around Massachusetts, New Hampshire, lower part of Maine, make sure that you bring layers because you'll definitely need them.
Yeah, for sure. When that sun comes out, it gets pretty warm. But when the sun goes away, it gets pretty cold. So you gotta be prepared for that. We just got a parking spot here at the Parrot Avenue parking lot. It's free for 72 hours. But if you're staying here for a day or two, that's a great spot to check it out. Just Google Parrot Avenue parking and you'll get it. It's pretty nice. We like it a lot. So let's get on to exploring Portsmouth. One thing Portsmouth was known for is what they call a popover. And with my sweet tooth going at 100%, I knew I had to have one. And what better place than a bakery/cafe that also happened to be named after the unique pastry itself. It was perfect. Oh, it's like hollow on the inside. Oh, alright. All right, that's pretty good. I like that. Definitely crunchy. Soft on the inside. So, needing to walk off the second pastry of the day, we made our way to the Strawberry Bank Museum, which is located just outside the downtown area. The Strawberry Bank Museum is named after the original settlement that was located here. It's what I would call a living museum. The area was set to be demolished in the 1950s and then urbanized afterwards. However, activists wanted to save the houses and the history located there. To do so, they acquired the area and began efforts to preserve the town. At the time of recording this video, tickets to enter were around $20 and go towards these current preservation efforts. Once inside, you can get a tour or just walk around exploring. I've never seen one of those before. Right there, Cafe du Monde. I got caught trying to take some videos of some bees and some pictures, and I lost Andrea. So now I'm trying to find her. Don't know where she is. I can make it easy and just call her cell phone, but where's the fun in that? Alright, we're all good. Oh, there she is. I found her, or she found me. Most buildings were open, and sometimes employees dress up in period clothing so you can get a real feel for how life was back in the 1600s. So we just checked out the Strawberry Bank Museum. We are now at the, I guess these are the gardens, Prescott Park Gardens. And I don't know if you can see them around me, but they look pretty cool. Just all chilling there. Very well maintained, very pretty, great shot to take some photos and selfies and all that fun stuff. So if you guys are here, definitely check it out. It's free, so you don't have to pay anything to come in. Pretty nice. Our next stop was in stark contrast to the beautiful gardens we were coming from. Alright, so we are here now at the Point of Graves. You can see all the graveyards behind me. This is, I believe, the oldest known cemetery in the United States. I think the oldest grave was from 1682? I think 1682 or 1672. I'll put that correction down here. But yeah, it's pretty cool being around there. So they've been around here for a very, very long time, but it's definitely worth checking out and just browsing around and seeing the names and seeing how old these gravestones are. The gravestones capped what was a somewhat sombering day. Walking around the city, it really started to hit us how COVID impacted the area. And it's not just here, but even back home. We've seen so many shops and restaurants in what were once thriving locations closed permanently. Those businesses that did survive were still running on limited hours, low employment, and often increased prices. It was a bitter reminder that even with the vaccine out, COVID is not over. However, there was also a tinge of normalcy mixed in. Seeing people walking around, congregating at the shops that were open, gave us hope that someday soon, things will be back to normal. We just finished walking around Portsmouth, New Hampshire on our way back to the car, and then we are going to head back to Kennebunk and get some food. Overall though, the city, it's small. You can walk pretty much everywhere you need to. So if you find a free parking spot, just stay there, walk. But definitely walkable, worth coming for a day. You never know, you might be able to find stuff to do. So with Portsmouth behind us, we hit the road. I dropped Andrew off at the hotel and went to get some food. I am on my way back from Sebago Brewing. We ordered takeout. Andrea's staying at the Beach House Inn. She's gonna relax there. So I went out to get the food. I'm on my way back. Judging by the smell, I am going to be very happy with it because it smells delicious right now. Word of wisdom for you guys. If you're traveling to Kennebunkport, not a lot of restaurants are open. Even in Portsmouth, when we were there earlier, Portland was the same way. The few people we talked to basically said that they don't have enough support and associates to actually be operating full-time, or at least close to full-time. That's gonna be the case, I think, as long as COVID exists right now, and at least for the foreseeable future. So we'll see if 2023 brings an end to that, but who knows? Got a little bit of time before we get there. Or 2022, I misspoke. 2022. I'm getting way ahead of myself. Way ahead of myself. Then tomorrow morning, maybe Boston. Found out Boston is not that far away. So we might end up doing that. Have a good night. Alrighty guys, we are on our way to Boston. Very excited about that. Definitely getting some Georgetown cupcakes. For sure, while we're in Boston. Those things are freaking awesome. The drive to Boston is about an hour and a half from Kennebunkport, and we didn't really have anything in particular planned, which left us open to explore. The first stop ended up being Harvard, a university Andrea always wanted to see. Alright, so just made it to Harvard. Boston. Cambridge, I guess, technically. So we're just walking around here. Gonna get some food, actually get some coffee first at the Black Sheep Bagel Cafe, and then walk around Harvard and see what that's all about. We then came across that John Harvard statue, who was obviously a key founder of the university. However, it was not named after him originally. In fact, when he died, the quote-unquote college was not established, but was in the works. Upon his death, he willed his library and half of his estate to this future college. In recognition of this, the General Court would name it Harvard College, which saw its first graduates in 1642, and this was almost 4 years after John Harvard had died. We just left the John Harvard statue. Got a photo there.
The Divinity School.
Yep, walking there. And we're trying to figure out what the difference between a university and a college is.
Now, I think it has to do with the research opportunities that are available and that the faculty undertake at a university setting versus a college campus.
And if we're right, let us know. If we're wrong, also let us know in the comments down below. Walking around the campus, you get a feel for the grandeur of the university. It's a large, widespread campus with an airy, yet sophisticated feel to it. It's no wonder some of the top graduates include Neil deGrasse Tyson, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and Al Gore. They all found a nice home here. However, you don't need a degree from Harvard to gain notoriety. Some famous dropouts include Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook fame and Bill Gates. So we're walking along and we just came across this really old graveyard. Just kind of sitting here on the side of the road.
This looks like a burial mound.
Right here, this looks like a burial mound right there.
So people are buried here from the Revolutionary War and the Battle of Bunker
Hill, which is kind of crazy.
In Harvard's campus, the law school.
Yeah, right outside the campus. The trucks are as loud here as they are everywhere. Now, we're on to Tufts. Just a short drive from Harvard, Tufts is mostly known for its majors in international relations, biology, computer science, and economics, and was founded back in 1852. We're on the Tufts campus right now, just walking around, checking out IR, International Relations. It's a small campus, but you know what? It's pretty nice. Newer, and I don't know what else you would say about it. Non-threatening campus. Tufts alumni are usually involved in various stages of the political landscape, but some notable non-political names include Jessica Biel, Tracy Chapman, and Rainn Wilson. So we're heading back down the hill now after visiting Tufts, and then going to...
Buildings are really pretty.
Yeah, really pretty, really new. The library is... It's a decent sized library.
Yeah, the Law and Diplomacy Library.
And these steps, gosh, I hate the spacing of these steps. Anyway, alright, off to downtown Boston. A quick drive downtown got us to the fancy area. Lined with luxury shops, it was a good chance to experience some expensive window shopping and still come home with absolutely nothing. But there was one thing on my list to get, and no expense was going to deter me. Definitely getting some Georgetown cupcakes. For sure, while we're in Boston. Those things are freaking awesome. Andrea introduced me to Georgetown cupcakes a few years ago. My first thought, it's just a cupcake. But now look at me, scouring the city to find it. We bought a few cupcakes and settled in at the Thinking Cup, which is a local coffee joint just next door.
How is it?
It's delicious as always.
Best cupcakes ever, Georgetown cupcake. You might have them on Newbury Street in Boston. We can't really get these in PA.
We had to walk off that treat. Luckily, the Boston Commons is right nearby. We just left the Boston Commons Park. Definitely go check that out.
A lot of fountains, green space, performers, there was an artist painting, and people just lounging and walking around.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. They maintain the gardens impeccably as well. And it's free.
And it's free. That's what I was going to say.
Love free things.
Free things are great. Just as long as the weather's nice.
Yeah.
To leave Boston without seeing the history in the North End would be a real shame. So that's where we headed next. We just got some parking.
Only
and
$5
only $5.
near the North
Some
End.
street parking.
We want to see some historic stuff before we head out.
Yep. And then we are going to find a nice Italian restaurant. Was it La Familia?
Familia Giorgio.
Yes. What she said. And once we do that, I think it's time to head home after that.
Yeah, we're pretty tired.
And maybe walk around, see some of the sights, walk off the big Italian meal. So, all right. I think wash my head there. Boston's Little Italy is located in the Old North End, so you'll find no shortage of great restaurants next to some important historical sites. Still though, we were surprised it was so busy, until we came across the reason why.
We arrived just in time for Italian Heritage Month
I know.
in Boston, month of October.
How was your day? We continued on to find Paul Revere's statue. If you don't know, he did not run through the streets shouting, "The British are coming!" In reality, he was much more discreet on his way to Warren Samuel Adams and John Hancock, who were staying in Lexington at the time. Unfortunately for us, since it was getting late, his house, in the same general area, was closed to visitors. Coming across the Quincy Market, which sadly was also closed, we still got a wonderful sense of the city. Much smaller than New York City by comparison, not arranged in a nice grid-style street pattern. Laced with history, it felt like a small city wearing a big city disguise, which made it all the more charming to us. After finding the site of the Boston Massacre, we listened to some tour guides that were practicing for the following day. They spoke about the story of Lady Maritana, a cursed figurehead that brought ill fortune. I'll have some links in the description for more details. For our part though, we bid adieu to Boston and headed back to the hotel for a good night's sleep. So we're on the search for a breakfast place because apparently breakfast places are pretty rare in Kennebunkport. So we're thinking about to find something. We went to Mike's all day breakfast, but unfortunately today was the day they were closed. So lucky us. The search continues. While on the search though, we couldn't help but stop and enjoy the pristine views of Gooch Beach. So we finally found a place to eat breakfast, even though it's 11:35 at lunchtime.
We're starving.
So yeah, we're a little bit hungry. So we tried, what was it, Square Toes
Totally
restaurant.
full.
Completely full, half an hour, 45-minute wait. Tried Maine's Diner.
Full.
No, they were closed.
Closed.
Yeah, all day Mike's Diner was closed.
Maine
What else
diner.
was it? The Maine Diner was closed. Or sorry, no, they were open, but it was a 45-minute wait.
So now we're at Mabel's.
Now we're at Mabel's, and we're waiting in line, which is, you can see all those people back there waiting in line as well. So I don't know, if you're coming here, just be ready to wait for food. Let me tell you, that place is awesome. So
Service was great, and we had New England clam chowder, which was delicious.
absolutely
That's the reason to come up
amazing.
here.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you know what's funny? I don't see that restaurant on a lot of people's go-to restaurants here in Kennebunkport. So note that Mabel's across the street from Breakwater Inn or Breakwater Spa, Inn and Spa. Check it out. That place is amazing. Food is top-notch. After breakfast, we walked around downtown Kennebunkport, looking through the shops and enjoying the people watching. This was quintessential Kennebunkport. It was nice to see the town looking more lively as the weekend approached. Thankfully though, our late breakfast spared us a wait in line at the Crab Shack. Instead, we headed back to the hotel to relax and wait for dinner.
Starting route to Pier 77 restaurant.
We are on our way now to Pier 77, one of our favorite restaurants in the area, I think.
They make really good blueberry pie.
The best
The
blueberry
Maine
pie.
kind.
Yes, with the nice, small, sweet, super sweet blueberries. So we're on our way up there now and going to check that out, and then probably get some nice views off the pier of the ocean, and hopefully a sunset as well. So it depends on how long it takes them to serve us. Turns out, it didn't take long. We were early enough to beat the crowd. The restaurant is located about 10 minutes outside of the town, and the food and service were great. In non-COVID times, there's also a sports bar open upstairs with lots of sports memorabilia. A great spot for the locals, I imagine. Sadly, while we were there, it was being used for storage because of shutdowns and staffing issues brought on by COVID. Grabbing a quick view of the sunset behind the clouds, we headed back to the B&B for the last night of our trip. That's okay. No, we don't have to. Look at this.
Wow. Oh my god.
We just left. Man.
Just left the main diner.
Yeah, we just left the Maine Diner, so we're on our way back to the gym this time for Friday morning. It's our
Kennebunkport. We went to Wells, to the main diner. It was featured in the Food Network, and we met a lot of locals right
Yeah.
at the bar. We were sitting there, and everybody was so friendly, so talkative.
Yeah.
If you want that towny Maine experience, go to the main diner.
Go to the Maine Diner and go early. Go before 9 o'clock because they call that the witching hour. After 9 o'clock, that's when it gets busy, and that's when we went yesterday. And that's why we had an hour-long wait.
So today we only waited about 15 minutes. We got there around like
Yep.
around 7:30. Not too bad.
And the food was good, and it came out within like a minute after we ordered it, which is amazing.
It's about, I would say, 15 minutes away from Kennebunkport. Very well priced. My meal, I think, for 2 eggs and toast and a side of oatmeal was like $8. Not too bad.
Yeah. After the gym, not really wanting to leave, but knowing we had to, we packed up our stuff at the B&B, checked out, and said a final goodbye to the Beach House Inn. At least, until the next time. Alright, just taking a quick walk on the beach for our last day in Kennebunkport before we head off to find lunch. It seems like this whole trip has been trying to find food. But we're going to do that and then head back to Portland. Maybe we'll grab lunch in Portland and then it's off to flying home. We'll be checking in a little bit. Our hunt for food has turned into a hunt for a parking spot. After several failed attempts to find a parking spot, we decided we would have better luck getting food in Portland. So we grabbed a quick latte at Mornings in Paris and made our way to Portland. Side note, if you look behind the counter, you can score some day-old pastries for $1, which is a heck of a deal. Arriving in Portland, we quickly set out to grab lunch.
Vegetables! I've never been so happy to see a vegetable in my entire life.
So we just left the Green Elephant here in Portland. Andrew gives it a thumbs up. It's a great place to go eat. So when you're here, go check it out. Really good, really good food.
Options.
And it's also pretty cheap. So, always good. Now that it was a Friday, the city seemed way more lively than when we had originally arrived earlier in the week. After walking around and entering some of the local shops, of which there are plenty, we made our way back to the car. The airport, which is less than 20 minutes away, was our next stop for the flight back. So we're leaving Portland now, heading back to the car. If you're here, check out Congress Street and what's the other one? Commercial Street. Those are kind of like where all the tourist shops are. So lots of trinkets, lots of good food. So definitely take a look at that. Also, in case you didn't know, Commercial Street, that was previously all underwater. They built that on top of a landfill. I hope you enjoyed coming with us on this adventure to the Northeast, and hopefully you would be inspired to do some more traveling yourselves. Each place you go to has a uniqueness to it, a history, a feeling that you can't get back home. As we made our way through the airport, it was clear. We missed traveling. Seeing new places, learning new things, meeting new people, eating new food when we can actually find it, is a thrill unlike any other. And with the world still being in the thick of the COVID pandemic, we were sorely deprived of it. For us, coming back to Kennebunkport, and Maine in general, keenly reminded us of one particular thing. New England is a place where things slow down. And that's not to say that's a bad thing. I would say it's something we actually all need. In our fast-paced world, New England is a great reminder that life can be slow, it can be simple, and it can still be good. Thank you for watching. We made it.